talk myself into getting another group or two because I'm so excited about that.
Hello, everybody. It's Tony Harris Taylor and
San Diego. Then you ran me down here in Dallas. So I had.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. I tell you, Tony, I can never get enough of that.
I can never get enough of that. I love that song. I love the video.
I do too.
So
it brings us in the best possible way.
Yes, great energy.
So how has your week been?
I have a great week. I actually added 3 new NIA members. My new leader went through training. He's already added 3 new NIA members.
Yes, he's Atlanta-based, right?
He's Atlanta-based. Hey, shout out to Jarvis. So I had an excellent week. I met with Ricky from IFA. I met with Catherine. I think I told them that last week. It's been a great week. So how was your week?
It's been awesome. Busy. I have launched my new masterclass for franchise business ownership. So I will be dropping the registration link for you all to join and take advantage of. We know that we're hearing a lot about, inflation and just the stock market. We're in a bear market here. And we know that those people who are in corporate, they may be looking for opportunities to start their plan B. So I wanted to come and just create a little bit of a mastermind class just to present the possibilities of what franchise business ownership offers. So connect with me. You'll have an opportunity to join live, free mastermind class. I'll be running sessions throughout July. So I'm excited.
I'm proud of you for that. That is really great.
Amazing. Yeah. So I'm excited.
I love her. She's like, that's amazing. So if you're not even sure franchising is a direction you want to go over to tjifshow.com, download 7 Steps to Franchise Ownership document, and take a peek at that, and then get with Jennifer and get into her masterclass. She's brilliant at this, and why not? It's free, costs you a little bit of time, but you're going to learn some things you did not know. In fact, I got a massage. Girl, I'm always networking. Got a massage yesterday. And I asked my masseuse, what's your exit strategy? I said, how old are you? And she told me she's 43. And she said, Tony, I almost can't get you in during the summer because because my parents need help. I said, have you ever thought about a franchise, a massage franchise? She said, I thought about it. She said, but I don't even know where to start. I said, because when life happens and your parents going to need you longer term, who's going to work?
That's right.
Right? You're going to miss out on revenue this summer and I'm like, if you had a franchise, you have other masseuses in there working.
That's right. And you
may be getting a connection from my masseuse because she's like, I don't even know where to start. And I don't have any money, which leads into our guest in a minute.
Yes, so that's right.
I'm
we have an awesome guest.
Yes.
My friend, he always calls us family, and I love him dearly. Just a strong partner in the funding space. So we get a lot of questions about access to capital. Richard Snow with WSFS Bank is the person you need to know. I think I just came up with a slogan for Richard. The person you need to know is Richard Snow. I'll get with him on that later. You can pay me for that later. But let's bring Richard to the stage. And hey, Richard.
How's everybody?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm glad to be here, a part of the show today. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting the invitation to shine, Richard. And so we want to just start off by having you introduce to the audience. Introduce yourself.
So, as they said, Richard Snow, the person you need to know, I'm going to pay you for that. I'm the vice president for the SBA National Franchise Program at WSFS Bank. We've been around since 1832, one of 10 oldest financial institutions within the U.S. And I run the franchising program where we support franchisees and ZORs with one, building their brands, but also obtaining the capital needed to grow your business, that first unit, that multi-unit acquisitions and resales. Also, I'm the chair for the International Franchise Association Black Franchise Leadership Council, where our goal is to engage Black minorities in the world of franchising to educate, create community, but also provide access to capital, all the tools you need to be a part of this, but also to be invested in the backbone of America, which is small business. We need to be more involved in that process. And to be more involved in that process allows us to create community change, generational wealth change. So we're a part of that vehicle. And I'm also a board member of the Diversity Institute. So you can call me a social advocacy of entrepreneurship for minorities within the diversity space, and I'm an advocate for franchising, a friend of franchising.
I love it. I love it. You just dropped a whole mouthful right there. So, first of all, Tony and I will be attending IFA Franchise Customer Experience next week here in Atlanta. Not sure if you're going to be attending or not, but we'd love to see you in Atlanta.
I love Atlanta. I will not be down there, but any information, I know you're going to share it back because
I
I watch it
will.
so diligently. But love Atlanta. Just got finished closing a large deal down there with the Woodhouse Spa with Nick
Mm,
Hollis. So that was
Spa? Did we say spa? And I
just
just
that
talked
spa.
about
that's
my
right.
So
massage.
That's right.
it was right on point. And if you're in the Atlanta market, Buckhead market, visit Woodhouse, visit Stacy and Hollis to get all the relaxation and zen and Namyo Renge Kyo that you need.
Reggae Crow. I love it. And you know what? We might need to reach out to them and have them on the show just to talk about their experience. So that's amazing that you were able to partner with them and bring them to the Atlanta market. So thank you for that. So Richard, let's dive right in.
Okay.
Lots of questions about what does it look like as folks are trying to wrap their minds around getting ready for franchise business ownership from a financial perspective.
I think you need to be more diligent than ever before. One thing that you mentioned at the top of the show was the interest rate. The Wall Street Journal Prime has now been raised three quarters at 0.75, and a few months back it was raised a half. It's predicted to do 2 points altogether to curb inflation. Um, this is important because it impacts your ability, one, to access capital, two, the cost of the loan now at this point in time. So what you paid prior about a year ago, it's going to be different in your monthly costs and your overall annual debt service. So for new franchisees or existing franchisees, you need to look at how this is going to impact your cash flow, because an increase in your payment, you need to have some adjustments and look at if your revenue can sustain that. Look at your controllable, your variable and your fixed expenses, and look at your bottom line to look what your net operating income is going to be. So that's going to be a huge preparation. So when you're putting together your business plan and your financial projections, you want to truly account for that and have an eye in how your business is going to adapt to the market and weather any of the impending storms that may come. Because there's always going to be a storm, there's always going to be sunshine. You just have to know how to weather each one of them and protect yourself. Those are some of the keys that I see out there. But to get started, first I would say put together your SBA package. Your normal SBA package includes a SBA Form 1919, which is your personal information form. That is your application where you will fill out how your sources and uses break out. You'll fill out your ownership, the percentage of ownership. You'll look at answer any of the SBA questions in that form. That's your 1919. And that's essentially your application with the SBA. The next form is your 413. That's your personal financial statement form. That's where we get to look at your personal assets and liabilities. That lets us know if you have the ability to support the equity injection that is needed. So when a franchise is presented and they sit down, they go to discovery day, they receive this document called the FDD, the franchise disclosure document. That's a key document because in item seven really breaks out the total project cost and the variance. They give you a minimum and a maximum cost that is there. And you look at that project to understand how that fits within one, your budget as a
Mhm.
potential franchisee. Everybody wants the max, but you may be in the middle or you may be at the bottom, but you still have access to become a franchisee within that brand. So, in the way you look at that, you say to yourself, do I have the ability to put anywhere between 10% to 30% of this cash into this project? Because that's the banks are going to look for that. Most SBA lenders are looking for anywhere from 10 to 20% in cash in, based on any other mitigants, which we'll talk about, such as collateral that you're bringing to the table or any affiliated entities that you may run.
Okay,
So
can we pause
Oh,
there?
yeah. We both did the same.
We must be starting to share brain.
Yes, because I am like on the edge of my seat right now. Because Richard, you just shared something really important that people need to hone in on. You don't need to have in your financial spectrum to fund the whole project 10 to 20%,
That's
folks.
what I heard
Is what-
too.
That's what I heard.
That's exactly right. So that's the cash that we're looking for you to bring to the table. And that's your injection. So if a project is $300,000, at 20%, you're looking at $60,000 in, and at 15%, you're looking at less than that. So they want to know that you have the funds to inject into that project. Also, they're looking at to make sure that you're not cash poor after you invest in that project. So if 60,000 is all you have, then you trim back what you're looking to invest in, and maybe you look at something where 30,000 makes up 20% of that, or 30,000 makes up 20% of that investment, or
Because
15% of that investment.
you want to hold some of the 60,000 as reserve for you
Yes.
to become okay, gotcha. So
And,
that's important as well.
right. And what we call that is post closing liquidity. So
Yes.
that's your liquidity and cash left over after you make your initial investment. Because also, remember what I said in the beginning, we have sunshine and we have storms. You have to weather both and make sure you're in a good position for both. So if anything ever happens within the business, you have a reserve to fall back on. You have working capital built into the loan to fall back on. The next thing we'll look at is see if you have a secondary source of outside income. So you want to plan. So if there's a household of two or more in the household, if the wife is going out and she's going to run and manage the business, maybe the husband continues to work and brings in that income to still support the household, because you don't want to support a household on a brand new business that has not begun to turn revenue. And these are ways that you position yourself and show strategy in your overall process when you go to start the franchise. So right there, we talked about your equity injection and what is needed. We also spoke to ability to debt service, looking at your financial projections. We also talked about your 1919. So we talked about your 413, your 1919. That next piece is your business plan. It's key because this is a startup. Even though you're buying into a franchise brand that is proven, the bank is still going to look at it as a startup. And you need to show that you have command of the business that in which you're getting ready to start. That you looked at your competitive analysis, you looked at your market, your demographic, your population penetration, how you plan to market and sell the products and services. What are your projected revenue sales that you plan to take in? What does the market conditions look like? All of these, your executive summary What is your transferable skill sets? Because when you come into a brand, there has to be something that you can transfer from what you did prior in the C-suite executive space and what you're looking to do within the brand you're looking to run. Because again, the franchise brand is a model. And normally, if you follow that model, then you can be successful within that brand. So we want to know that you have some of the skill sets to follow that model, adhere to the direction, and then bring in ways to kind of reinforce and uplift that brand to push it to the next level so you're successful. Because you don't get into the franchising space to buy one unit. Most of the time, you're looking at buying multiple units.
Yeah.
And I always use the example of you never buy one share of Apple or one share of Amazon. You want 100 shares. It maximizes your revenue potential coming
That's
from.
right.
So it's the same way if you're diversifying your portfolio through entrepreneurship, then you're buying multiple shares of that particular brand to diversify your portfolio. And you want to make sure that first one is off to the races the right way. And that's what I will focus on in the business plan. Any questions that y'all have for me before I
Yeah,
keep?
that is amazing because I always hear that one unit is a job. You're
Yes.
just replacing your corporate job for that one unit job. You're replacing that salary with that one unit. The whole strategy is to grow and scale.
That is absolutely.
Oh, I'm just so excited. I'm on track. So I am a multi-unit brand. Didn't know it. Didn't know it. I didn't know it was such a term till I came to IFA. But I actually, in having the conversation with the masseuse yesterday, the aha came. I knew it, but the aha was, hey, somebody's probably signing up a membership for NIA right now while I'm on this table.
Yes.
Now I'm in business.
Yes.
And so that multi-unit is that. So you want to enter franchising with the idea to eventually be a multi-unit
Yeah, you should
franchise.
agree. Agree. You should have that in your mind and knowing what that looks like going down the road and prepare yourself. Because when you have that conversation with the franchise developer or the broker or the consultant, that's one of the first questions they ask of you. What is your goals? What are your plans within this brand? And what direction do you want to do multi-unit? Are you looking for a unit you want to acquire that already has existing cash flow?
Mhm.
So these all play into your strategy. Because if you read any good business book, they say, you have to have vision down the road and you have to start with the end in mind.
Yes.
So those two things are happening at the same time as you go through. And please believe the bank's looking at it with the end in mind. The franchisors looking at it with the end in mind because that's why the agreement comes with a term. Every agreement comes with an ending term, right?
Mm.
So you have to think about, you have to position yourself in the same way. Um, when you go and you do your projections, this is one thing I always want to lay out there. The minimum debt service coverage ratio, that's the amount of debt that is covered by your business to cover the loan payment, is usually 1.25. So they want to see that you can cover the debt of the loan with your cash flow after expenses 1.25 times. That's one of the things that I see typically out there where clients are trying to understand. And you need to be at 1.25 at least by year two. Because if you can't cover your debt 1.25 times, then you're in a position where you may start having larger cash flow gaps. You may put yourself in a position of default, and nobody wants to, um, including the brand, including the bank, don't want to see you in a position of default. So when you're going there working out your projections, you have to be able to cover your debt and have some discretionary income out there to support your household, as we spoke about in the beginning, and making sure that you have a control over your expenses.
Interesting. So yeah, so it could get really deep. But if somebody is single and they want to buy, and that would be their only source of income for a while, they need to have enough cash to cover
That
with
is
that
correct.
missing income.
Correct. At least for 2 years. I would say at least show that you have enough cash to support your salary, or and not just your salary, but your expenses of your household, and making sure you have some income left over for entertainment, for living, so forth and so on. If you're going to go 100% into that franchise brand, you want to have that cushion, so to speak, because then the bankers, such as myself, most bankers, such as myself, we're pre-underwriting the loan for the most part. So as we go through, we're not trying to present packages and have you guess if you're going to get approved or not. We're presenting packages already structured out. We've already done the cash flow analysis. We've done the global cash flow analysis on them. We looked at your projections. We already know what our bank's loan policies and comfort levels look like. So we're building out that package to make sure we present a successful package, barring there's no credit issues. And that's one of the next things that you would like to focus on is your credit. Most banks are looking for 700 or higher. Some would say 680 or higher. But you want to make sure that your credit is strong enough and that your history is strong. If there are issues, prepare a narrative. Find out exactly if it's debt utilization. You can take control of debt utilization. Begin by paying down your cards to prepare yourself. So if you're going into a business venture or acquisition or a new unit, look at your credit. Don't have it be a surprise to you when the bank pulls your credit. You should already have a command of it. For your experience, your Equifax and TransUnion, typically the banks take the middle score of the three and look at exactly where you're at. Or is your credit in a position and prepare for you to go and apply for a commercial loan? And usually these are some of the largest loans between your mortgage and applying for a new business loan. These are typically some of the larger loans you're doing your life. So we want to make sure that you're in a position to pay that back. And you want to make sure you're in the best position and best light to showcase that why we should provide the funding to you.
And
Awesome.
that's amazing. And so here's a question for you, Richard. The package that you mentioned, whose responsibility is it as you start building out the package, the business plan? That's the person who's looking to acquire the loan. The
Yes,
applicants. That's the applicant's responsibility.
that is
Paying
correct.
that cost, so I'm trying to figure out what does WSFS bring in helping the client to kind of put that package together.
So the business plan, so with the SBA, the SBA lenders have to be independent from the deal. So we can't support in putting together your business plan or your financial projections. We can review and see things that need to be updated and state what needs to be updated. But basically, we review and underwrite that particular package. What I'm giving you today is the items that you need
Yeah,
to once you present from that standpoint, just to be prepared, because even this information alone is missing out there in the market. How
that's
do
right.
I prepare?
That's
Uh,
right.
Another item that we look at that most people are surprised at, we look at 3 years of your current tax returns. So we look at your tax returns to see what the salary that's coming in, your expenses, and also if you have any affiliated entities. So that means if you have any other business that you own 20% or more of,
Mhm.
that's called an affiliated entity, in which we need to do an analysis on that company as well, just to make sure that that entity is not having any financial strains on the bottom line of your current bottom line and will kind of impact the bottom line of your new business. So if we're giving, and just look at it as simple as this. If we're giving a new business, giving you a loan for a new business, but your current business is not successful, what's the chances of you running
That's right.
another business that's successful? So the two go together.
That's
And
right.
that's why one of the things that I always put out there, be very cautious as you're starting to go for new financing. If you already run a business, on how much deductions you take out of your current business. Are you devaluing your cash flow out of your current business? Is your current business solvent? So always look at and prepare yourself, because we're going to take a 3-year look at everything, a 3-year look at your tax returns, a 3-year look at your business, 3 years of financial projection. You see that perfect number 3 that's out
Three.
there?
Yes.
So we're going to have a 3-year look back pretty much at everything. So I tell there's never a wrong time to start. And if you're thinking about for your audience currently right now, if you're thinking about franchising and you want to get into the business, start the conversation now, because you have a year, 2 years to prepare to make sure you look, I always say, financially palatable to the bank.
Yeah.
It should be comfortable. It should be appeasing to them when they see this loan, they see this opportunity. It's it's easy for them to make a decision, and it's refreshing. So you always got to have
That's right.
those pieces to it. I would also say examine your franchise disclosure document, because we're going to take a look at that, understand the attrition rate of the brand. You know, how many have opened and closed throughout the course of the year. How strong is the brand? What does the footprint look like? Because that's all plays into the why, the how, and how successful it will be.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot of
That's a lot of
information. But the other key thing I heard there, if you're already an entrepreneur and you want to add franchising, which was my exact situation, I was already an entrepreneur and I was approached with the franchise opportunity and I added it to my brand. You cannot show a negative every year. Everybody's like, I want to show all my deductions. And the best piece of education I got a few years ago was you got to at least show some income. You can't continue to run a business and saying that you're in the negative, and then you can't qualify for a house, you can't qualify for another business or anything.
Right.
So we have to change our mindset. In fact, I had to up level my mindset and say, I want to pay taxes. I absolutely want to pay taxes. The
Yes.
more taxes I pay, the more
money
money
you're
I'm
making.
making, because
Yeah.
I've helped a lot of people. So let's flip our perspective and it's going to come out right. Well, Richard, what is your contact information? What's your phone number?
So phone number you can put out there, and it's out there. My cell's 215-796-2935. You can reach me there. You can also email me at rsnow@WSFS Bank, okay? And feel free to contact me, ask any questions that you may have out there, and supporting you with the financing required to run your business. And I can support with franchising throughout the United States. So I'm
Okay.
not restricted to territory. And I'm here to help you and empower you through this process. It is a process. You
It
must
is
know
a process.
it is a
Franchise
process.
business ownership is a process.
Yes, yes. And if you look at it, the average total, you can be a week to 2 weeks in underwriting. Most clients take about a week and a half, 2 weeks to complete the initial application paperwork. So you got 4 weeks right there. And then you're going through a closing checklist, because and also with the SBA, they do take a lien. If you own a home, they do take a lien against your primary residence.
Mm.
So understand that as well. That's a mitigant as well. So if you have equity in your property that can be taken as collateral, they will take that lien against your property as well. So you want to make sure you have all these pieces prepared out, built out. You cannot have any government liens or tax liens or owed taxes to get an SBA loan. You can't owe the government. You can't be in a defaulted state in any type of government funding, getting the SBA loans. So that's always important to have that information out there as well.
And then so you provided a lot of information, and to the audience, it may seem daunting, or they may say, "Oh, wow, I'm fearful." But information is key. Information is key. And Richard, what I always say is resources. There are resources out there. I'm tapped into resources to help you with fleshing out that business plan, making sure you're kind of thinking about that in a way that needs to be a strong presentation for you.
Yes.
So there are resources out there to help you with all pieces of this. And then if you start putting the best plan possible, positioning yourself the best way possible, to provide that success in your franchise business, that's the most the best way you can present yourself in franchise business ownership, I feel like.
Oh, absolutely. And even if somebody's, so even we've been talking about new units, but let's say you're trying to buy an existing unit and
Yeah.
do an acquisition, and that person is, and you're going to see a lot of that right now because with the rates going up and individuals that's been in and the market conditions that's taking place, you're going to have people that may be looking to move on, and there may be opportunity to acquire as opposed to starting a brand new one. So you may look at the option of buying into an existing cash flow, and if that person is really, that seller is really encouraged or aggressive to get out of the business, you may be able to do some type of seller financing. So your minimum in would be 10%, and maybe if they seller finance 10%, there you go, there go your 20. So now you got into a franchise, existing cash flow. You don't have to do any leasehold improvements or build out. It's all turnkey, and all you have to go in is look at it, analyze it, make sure everything's running efficiently, do some updates, and move on. And it's already moving. So
Awesome.
I
there's
love
multiple
it.
angles
I
out
love
there.
it. I love it. So there's creative ways of looking at this just based on what's available to you.
Oh yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Richard, we
So Richard,
appreciate
yeah.
your time. You're a wealth of knowledge, and I knew you would be. And so thank you for coming on, and contact Richard if you want to get the ball rolling. We already know it's going to take a minute.
Yeah.
So contact him, get the ball rolling so that you are best informed and you can do it the right way from
That's
the
right.
beginning.
That's right. I
All
love
right,
it.
Richard.
Thank you, Richard, again.
Thank you. Thank you. You are two powerful women, Black women up here as we go into this Juneteenth holiday, inspiring
Yes.
everybody. And and I appreciate what you're doing out there for franchising. And look, I'm part of your family. So if you need me, I'm here.
Thank
For
you. We
sure. I'll
need
take you
you.
up on that.
Let's be
Yes.
clear. We need you. So
That's
Thank
right.
you.
we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was excellent. I
Wow.
appreciate that. Um, he is a wealth of knowledge. Get in touch with him.
In like 20 minutes, he
Yeah.
just laid it all out, right?
Yep.
That's
So
amazing.
we have a lot of announcements. I'll let you take the helm with that.
Oh boy, let me change gears here because I'm still on Richard. So let's see here. I'm going to share my screens. Let's see what we do here.
I know we're using our technology
I
too.
know. So Tony and I are attending the Power Networking Conference.
It's showing your
What is it showing?
desktop. I can see your StreamYard screen.
Okay. Oh. There we go. Can you see the flyer now?
I see the two flyers.
Okay, so first flyer is Tony and I are attending the Power Networking Conference in Houston, Texas in August. Now, this is going to be the one and only Power Networking Conference you need to attend this year. So Dr. George Fraser, if you don't know him, he is the all things Black high power networking facilitator. And there's going to be a number of topics. And Tony and I will be speaking on franchise business ownership. So we invite you to meet us in Houston, Texas for the Power Networking Conference on August 3rd through the 6th.
And it's time to get registered. So if you want to register, contact Jennifer or I, and we will give you the wording you need to make sure you get the discount, because there's a deep discount when you come through us. And she says we're attending, but we're speaking. We are speaking on franchising at the Power Networking Conference. So we're super excited about that. He's never put a dynamic duo on stage before.
That's right.
Us. And the conference is all about empowering Black entrepreneurs in business, in wealth, and in health. So make sure you show up there.
Please make sure you show up. So the second opportunity we have for you to plug into is the Networking Action, Networking for Diversity event. All of the African American leaders within Networking in Action are coming together to launch their groups. We have a ton of groups that are launching within Networking Action. And guess who, again, is going to be kicking us off with that? Dr. George Frazier. That's right. On Tuesday, the 21st, register for that event, learn about Networking Action, learn about the value of networking, and learn about the Power Networking Conference as well. So that's what we have on board. Tony, you have anything else to share?
Well, you need to register for that at the, and we'll put it in the comments. In fact, I will go ahead and put that in the comments. Yes, I have something else to share. Jennifer and I will be together. Watch your social media for our smiling faces. We will be together next week in ATL at the IFA Customer Experience, Franchise Customer Experience Conference, because we are announcing the NIA Preferred Vendor Program. So NIA, Network in Action, is looking for those franchisors whose franchisees could use networking to grow their business. We're offering a 50% off of our deposit and a 10% off our membership for the franchisor signing a simple agreement to be a preferred vendor, not exclusive, so they don't have to come just to us, but they will get a discount. And so if you are a franchisor who has or you work with a franchisor who has franchisees that need networking, relationship building to grow, talk to us about the preferred vendor program, and we'll be promoting that at the conference with the people that we meet.
Exciting stuff going on. So just look for us at the conference. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to grab a coffee and just talk about what we have going on. I am starting a national franchise group within Networking Action. So I would love to speak with you about that as well.
We got a lot going on. I'm super excited, and everybody that is in our space wins.
That's right.
We believe that givers gain, and the more you give, the more you'll receive by hanging out with Tony and Jennifer.
Spirit of abundance.
Absolutely. All right, I think that's it. So we haven't practiced our tagline this week, but let's try it. Here we go. This is Tony Harris Taylor.
This is Jennifer Callender.
Introducing franchising for today, tomorrow,
and forever.
Bye.
DJ, I am sure.